We are just a matter of days away from war. I'm Iain Chambers, and this is your WrestleZone Roundup AEW Dynamite preview. Wednesday, the 2nd of October. Wow, that came around quickly. First things first, let's just recap how we got here. In May 2017, wrestling journalist Dave Meltzer made a flippant comment that Ring of Honor couldn't sell 10,000 tickets for a wrestling event. At the time, Cody and the Young Bucks were ROH's top stars. In September last year, they gave Dave a big fat FU by selling out their own independent wrestling event all in just 30 minutes. 11,000 fans were in attendance, and that was the biggest audience for an American wrestling show not affiliated with WWE or WCW since 1993. Take that, Dave. In December, Cody, the Young Bucks, and several other big names left Ring of Honor, and the official announcement that All Elite Wrestling existed came at midnight on the 1st of January this year. Cody and the Bucks signed with the promotion, not just as wrestlers, but as the company's co-executive vice presidents. Now, launching a wrestling company obviously costs a lot of moolah, which is where Tony Khan came in. The lifelong wrestling fan and owner of Fulham FC and the Jacksonville Jaguars was announced as AEW's president. Tony and his dad Shahid are absolutely minted. Soon after, AEW announced a load more signings, including Kenny Omega, Pac, and Chris Jericho. On May the 8th, AEW signed a media rights deal with ITV in the UK to broadcast its shows. On May the 15th, AEW and Warner Media announced a deal for a weekly primetime show airing live on TNT, the former home of WCW's Monday Nitro. On May the 25th, AEW produced its first ever pay-per-view Double or Nothing, which goes down a treat with fans and critics. It featured the voice of legendary commentator Jim Ross and saw the debut of former WWE superstar Dean Ambrose as his old indie persona Jon Moxley.
This is what you call a paradigm shift.
In June and July, we saw two smaller events in Fight to Fest and Fight for the Fallen. Then came the big one on August the 31st. It was the sequel to All In, obviously called All Out, which sold out in half the time of its predecessor. It's where we saw the legendary Chris Jericho become the inaugural AEW champion and go on to celebrate with
a little bit of the bubbly.
And in September, we finally found out what their weekly show would be called: All Elite Wrestling Dynamite. Boom. Now here we are, less than a week away from the Wednesday Night War. Triple H has already occupied the battleground for over the last 2 weeks with NXT on the USA Network. But AEW are making their way over the hill, armed and ready to go head-to-head. I expect there will be lots of surprises on the debut edition of Dynamite, but here's what we know is going to go down. Cody versus Sammy Guevara. This has been confirmed to be the first match we see on Dynamite, and it makes complete sense. Cody has become the face of the brand and is the #1 contender for Jericho's heavyweight title. Either we see Cody get a strong, clean win over the very talented Guevara, or we could see some interference from the champ. Nyla Rose versus Rio for the inaugural AEW Women's Championship. These two found their way here via All Out. Rose won the 21-woman Casino Battle Royal, and Rio beat Hikaru Shida in a singles match. It's great that this one was saved for the debut episode, as history will be made right out of the gate. MJF versus Brandon Cutler. Now this one was built upon the Being the Elite series on YouTube, and on Wednesday, we finally get to see that cocky son of a gun MJF in singles action. It's Cutler's first one-on-one AEW bout too, so these two are going to have a huge point to prove. Hangman Page versus Pac. This match was originally booked for Double or Nothing back in May, but according to online rumblings, there were creative differences between AEW and Pac. They ended up wrestling during a WrestleGate Pro event in Nottingham, England the week before the pay-per-view. Now fans finally get to see these two square off in an AEW ring, and when better than the premiere of Dynamite? It's going to be good. Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks versus Chris Jericho and two mystery partners. Now this is the first time Kenny and the Bucks will be seen by a large cable audience, so they need to bring their A game and make a good impression. For Jericho, he's been in front of millions of eyes plenty of times throughout his career and will take it all in his stride. As for his partners, Jericho has promised we won't be disappointed. And what else? Well, Jon Moxley will be there and is of course currently tangled up in a feud with Kenny Omega. Their match at All Out was scrapped after Mox picked up a nasty case of MRSA. It's now going down at their next pay-per-view Full Gear in November. You can expect some development between those two on Wednesday night. You know what they say, you only get one chance to make a first impression, and Cody said last month that we've only seen 40% of the AEW roster. I think we can also expect to see some pretty tasty debuts on episode 1. Any guesses? Let me know in the comments below.